Thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. It's your girl, Amasia Star. It's always a pleasure. I call you guys the All-Stars. Yes, I'm still that forever Olympic hopeful. Of course, I got the stats to prove it. All right, you guys, today, have you guys been experiencing some things that I've been experiencing? Well, let me tell you something. You know how we were raised that sharing is caring? Yeah, I can still hear it. Yep, I can still hear my mother making me share with my sisters. All right, so we're going to get into the statistics about this caring is sharing. The truth about teaching kids to share, pros and cons and mental health impacts, all right? For all you mothers, aunties, grandmothers, daddies, fathers, stepfathers, so forth. All right. We're going to be hitting on caring is sharing, why kids should share, mental health and sharing, parenting and sharing, sibling rivalry and sharing, and is forcing kids to share a bad thing? Positive parenting, child development, gentle parenting, and sharing, how sharing affects kids' confidence. You guys, we've all heard the phrase by now, sharing is caring. But is it always true? Like, really, is it always true? Today we're going to be exploring how teaching kids to share actually really impacts their mental health, sibling dynamics, and emotional development, plus some surprising science and real feedback from parents and experts. Let's get into it. All right, so when kids are encouraged to share, they start to recognize the feelings of others. Study from University of British Columbia found that children as young as 2 show increased happiness after giving away treats rather than keeping them for themselves. That's according to the UBC 2012. It also encourages social bonding, right? All good things. Sharing is a gateway to making friends. It's an act of trust. Dr. Laura Markham, as a clinical psychologist, that was her stance. Kids learn patience and self-control when they wait their turn to share a toy. Now, let's get into some of the not so good things about sharing is caring. When caring is sharing goes way too far, it can create resentment between siblings. When children are forced to share, it can lead to sibling rivalry rather than empathy. And that's according to Janet Lansbury, parent and educator. It also undermines autonomy, right? You're not thinking of it like that, though. I know, I would. We all are learning today. Stats show that 64% of parents in 2020 Parenting Science poll said that forcing their child to share led to tantrums or meltdowns later. You guys, it's important to teach generosity, right? Kids need to feel that they have control, though, over their own belongings. They have to feel that. Because remember, we're teaching them to be their children, but we're teaching them also to eventually become young adults and to be able to function effectively in society once they are an adult. As a sociology major, I've kind of seen it all. I understand the pros and the cons. I understand how I was raised, which was sharing is caring. And I also understand the importance of breaking that cycle of tradition and teaching more healthier boundaries now that we know about the effects that can also lead to resentment and mental health issues. All right, so models, consent, and boundaries. If we teach children that they must always share, always, keyword, always, they may struggle later to set boundaries in even relationships, even their marriage, even relationships with their professors, and also career economics, right? And that's according to Dr. Becky Kennedy. Another interesting mention. What parents are actually saying about all of this. I'm a parent. I taught my kids to take turns and share. And now they're great at team projects at school, okay? According to Jasmine, which is a mom of 3. I know for myself, I also teach my son, Dorian, that sharing is caring, right? However, I do have a boundary, whereas some things he doesn't have to share. And it's a line that parents have to come up with, like what's appropriate to share, what's cool to share, what's fun to share, what's godlike to share, and where you can kind of draw the line because it impedes on your personal growth and development. All right? Here's another one, another true story. My son started offering toys on his own. I think modeling kindness worked better than just forcing it. I agree. Kids mimic. So I want my kids to always see me in a position where I am sharing. And then instead of me making them or forcing them, they'll naturally mimic and decide when is the right time for them to do that act, as opposed to me saying that, I gave you a bigger piece so you can share, right? That's good and for the rudimentary maybe ages, but then when they start to get closer to 8, maybe let's wait for it and let's see what boundaries they have set for themselves. And then there's still room, you guys. There's still room. We're not done developing. There's still room. I used to take my daughter. I used to make my daughter share her things with her little brother, but then it made her feel resentful and invisible. We don't want that. No. Another person said, forcing my kids to share every time caused daily fights. I had to relearn what true generosity even looks like. Here's another part. How about let's get into the effects of sharing on children's mental health? When it's done right, sharing promotes an emotional intelligence and empathy. When forced, though, sharing can increase anxiety, stress. It can impede on your personal rights, your autonomy, your value system for yourself. Let's get into some statistics as it pertains to siblings, yeah? A 2021 NIH study found that children who felt pressured to share with younger siblings in particular experienced more rivalry and decreased self-esteem. Healthy sibling bonds come from a respect, not necessarily rules. So when kids are allowed to say, not right now, not this time, respectfully though, they develop better conflict resolution skills, according to Dr. Tina Payne Bryson. Here's another note for parents to consider. Raising kids to always share sounds good. It does, it sounds amazing. But what we really want is to raise our kids who choose to care, right? Not forced, but they choose it. They feel it in here, intrinsically in here. Teach generosity by modeling it. Encourage empathy. And most importantly, let your child say no sometimes. Without shame, without fear of getting in trouble or retaliation. Because that's how we build confident individuals, compassionate adults. Yes? Okay. Was caring is sharing a big phrase in your home? I know it was for me. Caring is sharing. Sharing is caring. Please comment below. Did it help or hurt you? Be honest. Let's have this transparent conversation. Did it help you or did it hurt you or hinder you? Did you have resentment for your siblings or your family dynamic? Maybe it was a cousin. Here's some quotes. Kindness is not compliance, according to Dr. Becky Kennedy. Number 2, teach generosity, not guilt, according to Janet Lansbury. Sharing should also come from the heart, not rules. And that person is ended. Kids are happiest, remember this, kids are happiest when they give on their own terms, according to a UBC study. The quote, caring is sharing, but so is setting boundaries, healthy ones, according to Dr. Laura Markham. So let's go ahead and kick the facts. Here's some questions. I forgot one thing. I'm the Forever Olympic hopeful. I began this video without, on your mark, it's never too late to run. Get on down to the track and field where life is nothing but a race. All right, run and take your mark. Set, go. Let's go. My bad. Okay, here we go. Is it good to always make kids share? That's my question. Not always. While sharing teaches empathy, forced sharing can lead to resentment and confusion about boundaries. How does sharing affect sibling rivalry relationships? If done respectfully, it can build a lot of trust. It can create rivalry if it's done wrong and resentment. Does sharing affect mental health? Statistics say that they do. Children who feel pressured to share may develop anxiety or have low self-worth. Consent and ownership matters, you guys, to our children and to us. So let's be mindful, like we know what the end goal is, but the steps of development, we cannot skip them. So my 5 important things to say today, right now, stop forcing kids to share. Let's research more. Let's continue this conversation so we can get more about the truth about sharing. If caring is sharing, but is it? Sharing builds kindness, you guys, or resentment? And why sharing might be hurting your kids. Okay? I'm trying to put all that up in here. Shot put. Yes. Okay, here we go. Children felt happier when giving than receiving. Toddlers aged 22 months smiled more when they gave treats to others rather than when they kept them to themselves. See, there's a time and a place for everything. That's according to the University of British Columbia, by the way. The result is that sharing activates the brain's reward system, even in very, very young children. So I can see exactly why we're trying to instill that. But again, not forced. On a global level, you guys, 78% of parents across 26 countries said teaching empathy and generosity was a top priority for raising good citizens. Now, parents in Scandinavian countries rated sharing as more important than obedience or competitiveness. And that's according to the Pew Research Center. Now, in Japan and Germany and in America, in Japan, children are taught group harmony early on, so sharing is culturally ingrained in them. It's ingrained here and here. But in Germany, sharing is taught through structured turn-taking and emphasizing a lot of fairness. Now, in the United States, sharing is often promoted through modeling behavior and praise, but individual rights are also emphasized. This shows that sharing is caring, is universal, but how it's taught offers and differs culture to culture, country to country, okay? Parenting Science Survey, USA 2020, indicates 64% of parents said forcing their child to share led to more tantrums, feelings of unfairness, anxiety in social situations. Okay? Sharing should be encouraged, not demanded, to promote emotional well-being. Now, sibling relationships and sharing. According to the National Institute of Health, children forced to share with siblings were 42% more likely to show signs of rivalry and jealousy. Oh, it's almost half. We gotta stop it. We gotta cut it out. Or you can always go into the long zone. 37% more likely to say that they feel like they don't even have anything of their own. See what the problem is? Do you see what it's creating? The opposite of what you want in the end. You want the kids to have harmony. You want them to be great citizens and say, hey, I volunteer. I give to the needy. I'm also able to show my compassion out loud. I have a heart for others, right? I know what the goal is. Just make sure that the steps that you're taking to get there is going to actually produce the result you were all desiring. Voluntary sharing improves sibling trust, but forced sharing may harm their whole relationship. We don't want that as parents. Generosity improves brain function. Let's get into it. According to a Harvard study, USA 2017, adolescents who practiced regular, generous acts like sharing food, time, or even money showed increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is the decision-making area, and the ventral striatum is like the reward system. All of this is getting activated when people share, but generous acts, not resentment acts, generous acts. almost done. Now let's talk about why sharing is caring can be very dangerous also for mental health. When kids are taught that they must share everything, like everything, oh my gosh, even when they don't want to, it confuses the concept of bodily autonomy. To start to feel like, okay, so I don't even have a say-so over my own body. I don't even have autonomy, freedom, or consent. Kids may grow up afraid to even say no in life, way after they're not even adult children anymore. This is going to lead to a people-pleasing, poor self-advocacy, vulnerability to peer pressure or abusive relationships. We don't want that. When children are taught that being nice means ignoring their discomfort, we teach them to silence their instincts, according to Dr. Becky Kennedy. One second. I had to switch over, sorry. Okay, one more thing. It causes resentment and self-worth and low self-worth. When you forcing kids to share, it's going to lead to feelings like, I don't matter, no one cares. My things are never really truly mine because I have to share them all the time. And then my feelings are not even important or valid in my family. A 2021 NIH study found that children that were forced to share, okay? 30% of them were more likely to show signs of low self-esteem. 25% were more likely to exhibit sibling rivalry. It also increased their anxiety and their stress level. And then it discourages emotional regulation. So they start to repress emotions, right? Because now they're feeling something that they're supposedly not supposed to feel. So now they're trying to repress those emotions. And then they're starting to have confusion about what fairness really looks like because they're not feeling like it's pertaining to them. The fairness has been put upon them, and it's basically benefiting the other person because they're not feeling it at the time. It also speaks to difficulty asserting their own needs. Think about this when you're forcing your kids to share. Kids need space to process emotions like possessiveness or jealousy or pride. And when we rush them to be nice or give it up, we interrupt their natural emotional learning. Just because we know that it's the end result, the way that we want our children to be raised, it doesn't necessarily mean that we need to impede it on them, like at the time that we think that it's best. And, shout out to my wonderful niece, Shy Girl Raylan. She had a situation where she bought something, not just for herself, she bought something for herself and something for her sister, little sister. However, her little sister wanted some of what she had. It went down in a vicious way. Shout out to my other little beautiful niece, Lynn Ray. So I took from that and decided to make this video because I'm realizing, and I saw it in real time, how they're both amazing individuals. They're both very sweet kids, very kind kids. And although we might want one to develop a little bit faster and really get it, right? At the end of the day, they're gonna get there. But it's a pace that they maybe can have some type of autonomy over, okay? And I love my nieces. Mwah. I think you guys are remarkable human beings. So excited to see how everything that your mother teaches you is going to shape who you are when you become an adult. I also want to say that it's okay to sometimes say no. It's okay. Okay, same with you, Dorian. It's okay to sometimes not want to share that one thing. And hopefully after, your parents see this video, that they'll have a different mindset about not just the positive things about sharing, but also the negative things about sharing all the time, and how that sometimes can impede on your personal development. Okay, I love you guys, and this is why I do what I do. It's all for my next my next generation, and for the All Stars, and for all the future kids of the world. All the parents out there that just need that extra understanding of certain things. I hope I can provide that research and be a place that you'll consider while raising your children. And I do the research and I just give it all to you. It's for you guys. Mwah. It's for you. It's for you. It's for you. It's for you. Absolutely. And before I end this, let me go ahead and end one other thing. Kids may learn that being good is now intertwined with generosity. Is it? Like, really, is it though? Yeah, we're taught to be generous, and we know that we are generous, right? Or we're aiming to be generous, but to be generous all the time, I don't know if that's actually even realistic, okay? Sharing sometimes, it leads to sharing for praise instead of doing it from your heart. If you start associating being good means giving things away all the time. And then you're going to be giving to avoid a conflict, right? So then that's intertwined in there. And then it's going to lead to not understanding the mutual respect, okay? Just consider it, please. Healthy alternatives. Let's teach consensual sharing. You don't have to share, but you can when you're ready. Or model delayed generosity. When I'm finished, I'll let you use it. It's a timing thing. I'm not saying no, I'm saying not right now. Use emotion coaching. It's okay to want to keep it. Let's find a way that feels fair, right? Right? Talk, conversation. So forcing cheering, this is my final thoughts, you guys. Forcing our children or people that we're raising to share may create obedient kids, but not emotionally healthy kids. True kindness grows in freedom, not fear. Force can be very damaging mental health-wise and in other areas. All right, so I hope you guys have truly enjoyed it. One other thing, why kids need personal belongings. Having personal items keeps children feeling unique and valued. Children begin to say, that's mine, that is mine, that represents me. These early attachments help form a child's self-concept and emotional security. According to a psychology insight, Jean Piaget described this as part of the ecocentric phase, a normal developmental milestone where kids learn self versus others. So let's continue to teach boundaries and consent. When kids are allowed to say, this is mine, they learn how to protect their space and set limits. And that's going to be so important and crucial as they become young adults and adults. This is going to help them in all areas of their life, even when they're fighting for their actual career and their salaries, right? Let me see. Also, it's a very important thing to learn how to say no. Me being a people pleaser, I know how difficult it is to learn how to say no. And I have started learning how to say no and set healthy boundaries for myself. So remember that that's also important. One other thing before I let you go. 70% of young children have at least one transitional object they rely on for support, according to the Journal of Child Psychology 2017. When each child has ownership over some things, it reduces power struggles, jealousy, unfairness, and kids learn some things are just mine. Some are yours and some are for everyone, but some things are just mine. All right, I hope you guys have totally enjoyed it. I know I have enjoyed doing the research for all of you guys. I would like to say this. Caring is sharing, and it sounds so sweet. This is going to be the description. But is always healthy for our kids? Is it always healthy? And in this eye-opening video, you guys, I hope that I've nailed it. I hope I've given you something you can hold on to and share with other people. And like always, I love you and God bless you. And I always will pray for myself and others. And I will upload this video as soon as I possibly can. Bye. Thank you guys. Bye, All Stars.